negative characteristics of Generation Y.
Like every generation, the positive traits of Generation Y can also have a negative flip side. So our confidence and our ambition can become having a sense of entitlement. We can also be prone to narcissism. We can be very worried about our personal appearance and our reputation. So much so that we've been nicknamed Generation Me. And although we like working in collaboration, we're very suspicious of established authority. And as a result, people in our generation are much less likely to be a member of a political party or institution than the generations going before us. We've also been criticised for being the Peter Pan generation, those that refuse to grow up, refuse to take the responsibilities of adulthood, and put off rights like getting married or having children later and later.
I guess she was being overcritic about ambitions. I think ambitions are a really good thing. It drives you, it motivates you, it makes you keep on working for something.
Well, Generation Y, I don't know. First of all, when I think of generations, I think it's overestimated, like the importance of generations, and it's always so funny when people say, oh yeah, we're a special generation, these are special times, because I feel like everyone who lives in the present feels like their generation is so much different and their time is so much different from before, but I think that everyone in their own time thinks they're special. So
yeah, that there is a trend, but for me myself, I think that especially for the personal stuff, I'm more related to other generations, or I'm a little bit different, because yeah, like I said, I do want to take responsibility.
I do acknowledge the point that she said at the end of the lecture, that it's like pizza something generation. I do see sometimes myself like telling me, oh, I don't want to grow up.
A lot of millennials don't really want to grow up. I think for us it's kind of maybe scary to grow up, be more free, explore more before getting babies and getting married, want to see everything of the world.
This generation does not have the same, how can I say, same circumstances as previous generations. Let's say they can expect far less from the typical old social welfare states, which have basically disappeared over time. Also the bond you have with your company if you go into the work market is not the same as that of our parents, where maybe loyalty was rewarded, having a relationship, getting married early was also made sense. Circumstances are frankly very different, that's why.
It's an ongoing process of development, and I don't feel like we are so much different from previous generations. And yeah, I think we are a lot more similar than we are different from previous generations.
Led.
I think I'd like the boss to give me personal space, like that I can determine how I'm going to do my task, and also that I get feedback and how I'm doing, that I continuously can change what I'm doing and get better. That he or she is a person that I can rely to and I can be open with, and that I can trust, like a friend.
For me it's really important that I can do things the way I want to do it. So I think it's really important that a leader first shows how to do a task, but then give you the responsibility to own the task.
His vision. I think that's the most important thing, if I can see myself in his vision. Apart from that, I would want him to be compassionate towards the other members with whom he's working with. as I said earlier, I would rather have a boss who would say, oh, we are working with this thing, not you're working under me or something. So that's more important, being a bit compassionate about the employees and how do they feel about their work.
And I like that when supervisors are engaging me to think about new ideas, have different perspectives, and not about this is how the company did it 20 years and this is how we do it.
Personally, I really dislike authority, and I'm not sure if that's because of the generation that I'm in or me as a person, but yeah, I do notice that when my manager, for example, at work is really strict and telling me exactly what to do and being unreasonable and just showing that they're the leader, is like I won't work harder because of that.
If he asked me about how was my weekend, I would be really happy.
I'd be a horrible leader.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I would like to be a leader who is inspiring and who is close to their subordinates. So I don't want to be a leader that is hierarchical, getting out the full potential of subordinates.
That's a difficult question.
I think I would maybe be more of like a, I don't know, a chairman, or like leading in a way as letting other people do their jobs in the best way possible.
For me, it's really important to make sure everyone is comfortable with their work. Secondly, as I said, I never would want my workers to work under me. I would want them to work with me. So there's a huge difference between under and with. And yeah, maybe go on a couple of drinks on the Friday.
A servant leader, I'm not speaking myself as a servant leader right now, but this is more an approach. If I'm becoming a leader, then I won't do it like this, because I'm not a fan of I'm the supervisor of everything and I control everything and I manage everything, because I feel like it's better to do it in a team and with everyone together.
Previous leaders, they were really serious. There was intensity. That intensity I don't see in the leaders over this period, but that doesn't mean that they're not strong leaders or something. For instance, Mark Zuckerberg.
The previous generation maybe were far more skeptical about authority, about traditional society values that kind of were taken for granted by previous generation, while we probably have a much more critical view on it, and that shapes how we act and behave, and even in the work environment. We take a bit our views about life into our work as well. So we are different. That's clear, and we probably should be managed differently.
The generation before us is more like they're looking for loyalty, like they're looking for, okay, I want to be in that job or like be with a company and stay there, have like long-term career opportunities. And I think with our generation it's more like, okay, where can we get the best deal? Like if I can grow in this company, then I'm just going to another one.
We cannot compare the leaders of this generation with the leaders we already had in the previous generations, because there's a lot of difference. There was no social media before. Apart from social media, I feel like there's always a generation gap. From, like, if you see yourself and your dad, there's a huge difference in the perspective how we see the world. So if people say that, oh, that generation had a good leadership, I was like, no, this generation has leaders. It's just that you don't see the qualities that those leaders had before. It might be different. It might be more apt to the generation we're living in.
Yes, there might be a difference if you just look at the stereotypes, but I think all generations can adapt to a different leading style.
Cool.
Of course, our generation is not perfect, but I think it's really important to value who we are.
We just need to step up our game and not be shy about it. So move away from maybe passive criticism or even active criticism and actually do something about it.
We need to respect everyone. We need to be very liberal. We need to make sure that we are not judgmental of what the other person is, because you never know what it's like to be the other person.
Having more of like a long-term vision.
Okay, cool. We're done.
That was it?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That was
Great.
really good.
So imagine you have a leadership position. How would you lead other people?
Yeah, that's a question I was looking for.